We talked about the copyright struggle that we had on the Hollywood video thing. And that has caused follow-up discussion with our friends and supporters. Many of whom see our point with that whole thing, which was basically like, we don't think that 4 seconds of somebody's YouTube videos causes any harm. But yeah, we kind of like Dan, who's been on the podcast. His dad is a comics artist. And so, he had a different angle on it, which was like, well, if you steal a picture and the picture is the entire property, 4 seconds, 4 minutes, it's kind of, you've violated, it's the same infringement. Because my take is like, in terms of reviews and clips and that kind of thing, if 98% of everybody on the whole platform is in violation of the law, then like it's a shitty law, right? Like, and these laws, the copyright law exists to protect art. Yes, right. To protect the artist, but the reason we want to protect artists is because we want to protect art, right? As a nation, and as a body of people, and like certainly allowing people to shake each other down for money for minor things that don't cause harm is a clear abuse of the law, much like patent trolls, much like accessibility trolls, and that sort of thing. And so I don't know exactly what, I want to give YouTube some credit, because a lot of times people are like, yeah, YouTube sucks about this. I'm like, YouTube's doing a pretty commendable job, because they really, when there is a violation, because they got to comply with law. And when there is a violation, they really point the copyright holder toward more reasonable recourse. They're like,
right,
maybe share monetization or contact the person or whatever. Like, and to me, like removing monetization is a lot better than delete the video, which is the position I was put in.
Right. That's because somebody manually like flagged it, right?
Yeah. So I think like there's got to be a little bit of a higher. I'm just floating this. Maybe I'm totally off, but I think like 15 seconds of uninterrupted footage, I think that should always be fair use. It's like, we were hearing, they were like, oh, everybody thinks everything's fair use, and it's not. And I'm like, well, I think it should be. Because like, I think we ought to be able to use things.
Yeah, everyone, when they're building their argument, are always building it on what we have now. Yeah, we're talking about how it shouldn't be the way it is.
and here's the other thing: YouTube can't detect for fair use. Fair use requires like it's an intent thing, it's a transformative thing, it's an educational thing. It requires human review, and so.
Yeah, it's like the argument's like, oh, what's porn? Well, it's like, I know it when I see it. It's one of those things.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, so, and a lot of times the only time you're analyzing it is by the time you're in a civil case. And so you can either pay the person or you can go have the civil case. And so I think we need to make the grounds for a suit higher and make it more difficult to sue for this stuff. No, I don't want to destroy all art and all intellectual property in the process, but I think we need to expand it and be more flexible. And the reason we were talking about this was not just because of our case, but because remember when we talked about the retro problem? All those YouTubers that were doing the same title. It was like the retro problem in 2023, and they all had bugs. One of them was this Lady Decade YouTuber, and she puts on this very off-putting like newscaster voice, which is like,
yes,
rise and fall of the Sega Genesis.
Super Mario All-Stars and the Sega Mega Drive. Necessities for gracious living.
What the fuck is the Lifestyles on the Richard Famous video game channel?
Yeah, if I ever get like catfished into like clicking on one of those, like I always turn it off because I'm like, oh yeah, it's this shit again.
She's married to that Top Hat Gamer guy. And so when we mentioned them, we got a bunch of comments that were like, do you guys know about like their big controversy? And I was like, no. And it was that she made one of her AI looking fucking videos. And she used an image off of Google image search, as we all do. Like everybody needs to admit that right here and now.
Yeah, you just sort of like, I want a picture of a Denny's, and you type in Denny's, and the Denny's comes up. You use that picture.
That picture of Denny's is my intellectual property. The one that I really never understood. Maybe I'll make enemies with this. When people get precious about their gameplay footage, I'm like, okay, who has primacy in the copyright claim here? the fucking video game developer or you playing it.
Yeah.
That's like saying
exactly.
like
do you own like the code to that game?
I'm the chef because I'm eating this burger. This is ridiculous. Anyway, she used a photo of Ray Harryhausen, the famous stop motion film director, a photo of the guy, and it was copywritten by the photographer, and the photographer came after her for $400, or else he'll sue. I believe that's the situation.
Basically, I'm very, very, very stressed out. I've been very stressed out all day. I've been having anxiety attacks all day over this scary, legal sounding letter with all of these like points in it. Terrifying, scary letter. And like blinding you with science, and you're reading it like, oh, I don't.
So it was like, pay this much or pay that much. Those are the options he was giving her. And technically speaking, he kind of has the right to do that. She could win the suit. She could make a claim for fair use and win the suit. But who
that
wants
probably costs more.
Who wants to take that risk? And so I think it's a shakedown. And but it seems like everybody really was railing. They were like, oh, Top Hat Gaming and Lady Decade's mistreatment of this poor photographer and stuff. I kept hearing about that. And so there was like some video she put up explaining the situation that's been long since taken down. People have reposted it cheekily. And look, it's extremely unlikable. I mean, it'll really test your principles, this one.
Because you don't want to be on her side.
You don't want to be defending her because she comes off like she starts talking about how like you're taking food out of her children's mouths, and she's going to post a picture of her children on Twitter to show you how hungry they'll go. And she starts going like, and he wants $400. I don't have $400.
I'm very scared. I've got 2 small children. I have never put pictures of my children for public viewing on social media, but today I'm going to show you a picture of the 2 little boys that this person is potentially going to ruin the lives of, and they've demanded that we pay them just shy of £500, which I know probably doesn't sound like a lot of money to, sorry. I don't have that money.
She starts talking like that, like I don't have I'm like, you don't have $400 like just for like cost of doing business. He has like 90,000 YouTube subscribers. The other dude has like 250,000. Their Social Blade indicates that they make, I don't know, $100,000 off of this stuff a year. Maybe it's less than that. But, look, like we got shaken down for some fonts recently.
Yeah, we paid probably around $400 or $300 and something dollars.
Yeah, it's business.
Yeah, you got to, it's the cost of doing business.
Yeah, like things like that come up. But nevertheless, she used 4 seconds seems to be the magic number. She used 4 seconds of Ray Harryhausen and had to go through this bit. And, and the guy wrote this real fucking, non-human letter to her. There was like, you have 2 options.
Walter, you have 2 options. You either go down there, you're going to put $400 in my mailbox. Walter, are you listening to me?
Here's what you're going to do. You're going to pay me that $400. You're going to give it to your Top Hat boyfriend or whatever his name is. Frankly, I don't care. Hello, Mr. Big Daddy Top Hat Gamer here.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Big Daddy Top Hat here.
You ever see that guy?
No, I barely know who these people are. I only know Lady Decade because she showed up in my feed. And then I did the little 3 dots and I said, don't show me this. Don't show me this bitch ever again.
Oh, surprise, bitch. Pay me this money or I'm going to ruin your life. I can't afford to pay that amount of money. I can't afford it. Sorry.
Look, I just want to stay principled and defend her right to infringe on that man's photography.
Let me hear your defense of this horrible woman.
Yeah, I just think like I don't see how any harm was done to his intellectual property by, theoretically she was narrating underneath it. She, again, I think he totally has the right to be like, could you please credit me, in your description or something? Or could you, if he really wanted to be obnoxious, maybe, direct the monetization towards him or something. But to be like, pay this or pay that just feels to me like, and is that even a way to win in the long run? To be like, I'm going to keep making a living at art by shaking down anyone who dares look at my art.
It's anti-art in a way, especially if, I don't know.
I just think if you're going to keep making a living at this stuff, like you have to find other ways to monetize. You got to find ways to innovate.
Yeah.
We're in the information age. I know that if you Google it and you see the guy's picture, it's probably on a website that he uploaded. Therefore, he chose to put it there. And if she puts it on YouTube, she put it there without his permission. I understand all that. But the net outcome is, as a user, I see it on this website or this website. And I don't really see how, it's obviously 4 seconds on her dumpy video didn't make the video.
Because I don't know what to do. It's basically, it's like, why send it on a Saturday morning? It's starting to go into a panic attack. It starts building up and then I can't breathe. I'm sorry, everyone.
Everybody rips from Google image search. Everybody. And so
you gotta watermark your photo, man. You didn't watermark your photo.
Yeah.
That's the way you do it.
Doesn't stop Cinemassacre with their, it's bullshit videos.
Shutterstock.
Getty Images. In a way that adds to it. So that's my Lady Decade defense.
It's a flipping retro gaming history documentary. That's what we do. Retro gaming history documentaries. Does fair use mean nothing? I've got my children.
Subscribe to Red Cow Entertainment on Patreon for full episodes every other week.
I don't have that money.